How to become more dominant? Dominance is posture, attitude, and language. Put on something that makes you feel powerful and sexy. Speak with command. You don't need to yell or call your boyfriend names, but speak with authority. Say what you want and expect it to be done. Own yourself and your desires. Hold yourself with confidence. Don't slouch. Many of us want to get through life unscathed, avoiding conflict, and not making too much of a spectacle. But we end up feeling used, taken advantage of, or never really getting what we want out of life. Here are 10 ways to become more dominant. Number 1. Believe in yourself. Self-doubt will keep you in a submissive role in your life eternally. Being dominant is about having others follow you and being the leader. Believe you are worthy of people's respect and adoration. Number 2. Talk softly. Tell yourself you are a dominant person and you can transform yourself from the inside out. Remind yourself of your potential and how tough you can be when you need to be in any situation you encounter. Number 3. Take down the bully. If you want to be dominant, then you have to take out the bully. Everyone will look up to you, and you can take the king of the mountain spot. Number 4. Never sweat. To be dominant, never to let your guard down or to show your fear. A good face and expressing yourself positively by not giving up is the most powerful tool to be dominant. Number 5. Branch out. Being dominant is much easier in a small group than it is in a big one. Conquer smaller tasks and then move on to the bigger. It is better to practice with smaller groups than to try to take over a corporation overnight. Number 6. Make people follow your lead. People following you is the definition of social power. Anytime people follow your lead, you are by definition acting as the leader and as the most powerful individual. Politicians, schooled and instructed by communication experts, play this game quite often. They shake hands, place a hand on people's back, then open up their body, and point to something in the environment. What they're trying to do is to have people follow their lead. Of course, Trump heavily engages in it. Number 7. Guiding others, the good host. Dominant men politely invite others to be their guests. To follow them, to sit down, to enjoy the food, to go through the door first. It looks polite, but it's also leader-like and it puts them in charge. Number 8. Assigning tasks. Dominant individuals task others. They do it when they have formal authority, of course, and they will often task people even when lacking formal authority. We have seen examples of taskers in types of political players, in the workplace section. Beating taskers. Ask yourself, is he in a position to assign tasks? You will overanalyze in the beginning, granted. But over time it will become natural for you to discern between fair requests and unfair requests from people who have either no authority over you or who cannot ask you to do what they're asking. Make a point to challenge and reject all tasks from people who have no authority and or assign them in a curt and non-respectful way. Number 9. Dominant touching. Several studies show that people who touch others more are perceived as more dominant. Different ways of touching convey different levels of the dominance, of course. Backslapping or light punches on the shoulder while laughing and drinking, for example, tend to be very juvenile and not very dominant. Touching someone's face instead is very dominant. This is one of the famous dominant touching. Parenting style touch. When one individual takes a parent role in a relationship, it often pushes the other party into a baby role. And of course, the parent is the role with the most social power. Touches that signal a parent role include patting on the head, cheek pinching, face touching. Sheryl Sandberg, the author of Lean In, complains of patriarchy in the workplace and shares the story of a congressman who patted her on the head and asked, "What are you, a pon girl?" That was an attempt at taking the power role / father role in the relationship. Number 10. Aggression, assertion and punishment. The continuum of aggression is usually understood as going from submission to assertiveness to aggression. Dominant men are rarely on the submissive side, of course. The most socially adroit ones are on the assertion side, but they also know how to cope with aggression, and in the rare cases when it's needed, they can also cross into aggression. But this is not to say I'm recommending anyone to be aggressive. Face slapping. Face slapping can be friendly or it can be threatening, as if to say watch out. In the former it will be delivered with a smile and in friendliness. In the latter with a very stern face. In either case, it sends a strong signal of dominance. Touching or taking your property. Dominant men allow themselves to touch or take other people's property. Even if done in jest, it's as if to say you belong to me and so does your stuff. Even if done in jest, it's as if to say you're below me so I can touch your stuff, and the moment you let them take and touch your property, you're communicating you approve of that power relationship. Claiming territory. Most people have a natural understanding of personal territory, but submissive people don't act on personal space as encroachment and fail to draw their boundaries. The most dominant individuals instead act swiftly on personal space encroachment and do so very openly. So defending one's territory and space is a sign of dominance, confidence, and social power. That's it for today's video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more interesting videos.